Minimalism isn't about owning nothing. It's about owning only what truly matters. For 2 weeks, I decided to live like a true minimalist. I tracked every single dollar, cut out every unnecessary expense, and completely simplified my daily life. What I discovered in those 14 days was eye-opening. It explains why so many people, even those making good money, constantly feel broke. Today, I'm going to break down the biggest lessons from that experiment, lessons that could change the way you think about your money and your life forever. Let's start with the most powerful realization. Most of our purchases don't actually add value to our lives. Before this experiment, my apartment was, well, let's just say it was full. I had gadgets I rarely used, clothes with the tag still on, and shelves of books I promised myself I'd read someday. When I started decluttering, removing everything that wasn't essential, a hard truth hit me. The initial excitement I felt when buying these things had faded within days, sometimes even hours. They weren't making my life better. They were just adding to the noise. Minimalism forces you to ask a very powerful question before every purchase. Does this genuinely improve my life, or is it just a temporary distraction? That one question alone can save you thousands. Think about your last 5 non-essential purchases. Are they still bringing you joy today, or are they just collecting dust? For me, the answer was almost always the latter. This wasn't about deprivation, it was about clarity. I started to see that my desire for new things wasn't about the things themselves, but about chasing a fleeting feeling of excitement. By stripping away the clutter, I wasn't just cleaning my home, I was cleaning my mind and my priorities. The next thing I noticed was almost magical. My impulse spending completely disappeared. How? By removing the triggers. I realized that a huge portion of my spending was mindless. It happened while scrolling through social media and seeing a targeted ad, or browsing online stores just for fun. Fun for who? Certainly not my bank account. So for 14 days, I went on a digital diet. I deleted shopping apps from my phone. I unfollowed brands and influencers who were constantly pushing products. I even installed an ad blocker on my browser. The result? Out of sight, out of mind. When you stop browsing for entertainment, you stop spending for entertainment. The constant temptation was gone. My environment, both physical and digital, became cleaner, and as a result, so did my wallet. It's amazing how much of our spending is driven by manufactured desire. We're bombarded with thousands of ads a day, all designed to make us feel like we're missing out. Minimalism is the ultimate defense against this. It's about creating an environment where you're in control, not the advertisers. I replaced mindless scrolling with reading a book from the library, going for a walk, or calling a friend. These activities didn't cost a thing, but they added far more value to my life than another package from Amazon ever could. Now, let's talk about the silent wealth killer in so many of our budgets: food delivery. I'll be honest, I was a huge fan. The convenience is just so tempting after a long day. But for these 14 days, I made a strict rule. No food delivery, no restaurants, no takeout coffee. I was cooking every single meal at home. The financial impact was immediate and staggering. On my first day, I did a big grocery shop that felt expensive at the time, but that one trip covered almost a week's worth of delicious, healthy meals. By the end of the first week, I had already saved what I would normally spend in just a couple of days on takeout. It wasn't just about the money, either. I was eating healthier, I felt more energetic, and I rediscovered the simple joy of cooking a meal for myself. It became a relaxing ritual at the end of the day, not a chore. If you're looking for the fastest way to slash your expenses without feeling like you're sacrificing, this is it. Start with just 1 week of home-cooked meals. Track the savings. I guarantee you will be shocked. It's not about never eating out again. It's about making it an intentional treat, not a daily habit that drains your finances without you even noticing. One of the most surprising benefits I discovered was how minimalism impacted my emotional state, which in turn calmed my spending habits. My apartment, once cluttered and chaotic, became a peaceful, organized sanctuary. Waking up in a tidy room with only the things I love and use around me had a profound effect on my mindset. There's a direct link between a calm space and a calm mind. And when your mind is calm, your financial decisions become clearer and more rational. I realized that a lot of my past impulse buys were driven by stress, boredom, or anxiety. A tough day at work? Let me buy something to cheer myself up. Feeling bored on a Sunday afternoon? Let's browse online. It was a cycle of using spending as an emotional crutch. But when my home environment became a source of peace instead of stress, I no longer felt that urge. I found healthier ways to cope with my emotions, like journaling, meditating, or simply enjoying the quiet of my own home. A clear space truly creates a clear mind, and a clear mind is your greatest asset when it comes to making smart financial choices. It stops you from making decisions based on fleeting emotions and helps you focus on your long-term goals. So, after 14 days of this minimalist lifestyle, what was the bottom line? The money I saved was real, and it was more than I expected. But here's the crucial part. It didn't come from a place of painful sacrifice. It came from a place of heightened awareness. I wasn't sitting at home feeling deprived and miserable. I was feeling empowered. I was choosing where my money went with intention. I was trading mindless consumption for meaningful experiences. The money I didn't spend on clutter and convenience went directly into my savings, getting me closer to my actual financial goals. This is the biggest misconception about minimalism. People think it's about having less money or being cheap. It's not. It's about having less waste. It's about directing your resources, your time, your energy, and your money toward the things that genuinely matter to you. It's about freedom. Freedom from debt, freedom from the constant pressure to keep up, and freedom from the clutter that weighs you down, both physically and mentally. In conclusion, this 2-week journey taught me that minimalism isn't a restrictive set of rules. It's a mindset. It's about being intentional with your life. And that intention is the absolute foundation of building wealth and, more importantly, a life you love. It's not about what you remove, it's about what you make space for. When you get rid of the excess, you create room for savings, for hobbies, for relationships, and for peace of mind. So my challenge to you is this. Try it. Maybe not for 14 days, maybe just for a weekend. Declutter one small area. Skip food delivery for 3 days. See how it feels. You might just discover that less really is more. Thanks for watching, and if you found this valuable, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own experiences with minimalism in the comments below. See you in the next one.